So what is the best budget drone in 2022? With the Mini 3 just around the corner, a lot of considerations are of course going into which kind of drone that you want to buy. But with a price tag on the wrong side of $1,000, this is not really a budget drone. I understand why DJI needs to have a Pro product within the 250 gram envelope, but they're also pushing the price to the upper end. The Mini 3 will not be a substitute of the Mini 2. They will keep that drone and probably also the Mini SE in the lineup. So that will give a nice lineup of drones in all price ranges, starting from $300 up to somewhere around $1,300 for the Mini 3 with the full shebang and the new smart controller. So what would be the best budget option? That would be the Mini 2, at least in my opinion. And I'm gonna tell you why. One of the compelling reasons is of course the price. You will be able to pick up a Mini 2 for $449 and get the Fly More combo for additionally $150 at $599. So with that kit, you will have plenty of flight time. You will have a super stable drone that is capable of recording 4K 30 FPS. A resolution and frame rate that would be sufficient for most. And even though the camera sensor is a bit aged in this drone, it still does it at 100 megabit per second, which means that you will have plenty of details in your recordings. Where it's lagging a little bit behind in the camera performance is when it's getting into low light situations, where we have seen some of the newer drones with a wider aperture providing some really stunning and significantly better low light footage than what you're getting with the Mini 2. That also comes at a cost, as a drone like Autel Nano Plus is significantly more expensive and in reality more a competitor towards the Mini 3. So if you're filming under bright daylight conditions, I would be surprised if you could see significant difference from the video produced by the Mini 2 compared to the more expensive siblings, especially when it's uploaded and compressed on social media. And the photo resolution is also limited to 12 megapixel, but this is also if you're just planning to use your photos online and as part of social media, this is sufficient for most. If you have the need to do higher resolution images, it is actually possible still with the Mini 2, as you can use the Panorama Mode that's called wide, where it takes 9 individual photos and stitches them to one single image. And with the raw capabilities on the drone, you actually have something that you could turn into something useful. But stitching 9 individual photos might put some limitations into what you can actually capture with this setup, as taking the photos are spaced in time. The wide option is definitely a great way to expand the quite limited camera of the Mini 2. Despite the drone is quite small, it's handling wind like a champ. It is spec'd for level 5 wind resistance, meaning that it will be capable of flying between 8 and 10.8 meters per second, equal to wind speeds of 19 to 24 miles per hour without any hiccups. And I can confirm this is really the case. You will be able to fly in actually much more windy conditions than what is listed in the specifications with this drone, and it will not disappoint you.
Let's just try and fly it the other way. So I can actually move it. It flies, even though we're in high wind, and of course the gimbal is being knocked out and it's flying to the side here. So it's definitely a stronger drone than Mini 2 when it comes to high wind.
Many of you are Mini 2 owners here on the channel, so of course that has been the main focus when producing content. That also means that when I've pushed the drone into certain situations, I've banged it up pretty good. I actually managed to crash it maybe 3 or 4 times within the last 6 months, trying to do slow-mo recordings close to the camera and all sorts of stuff. But it's built like a tank. It's really solid. Even though that it has hit the ground multiple times, it still survives and I can fly it. It is right now in a condition where it probably needs to get an arm replaced and a few other things that needs to be tightened up. But it has been holding up really well for the abuse that I've been submitting it to. There's nothing to complain about the build quality. Some might argue that we sometimes get software updates from DJI that will make the drone worse than it was when you originally bought it. I've seen that too, but in the overall scheme of things, the Mini 2 is a really great product. And as it is with everyone that wants to be on the cutting edge of the newest software development, we all take a risk about installing the latest firmware and fly apps flying the drone. So you might want to consider holding back for the initial reviews by me and some of the other YouTubers just to see if it's safe to upgrade. With the Fly More combo, you get 3 batteries, and with an average flight time of around 25 minutes, you can have a total of up to 1 hour of total time in the air. That's actually pretty amazing. And most will get bored and fed up with the amount of footage that can be produced within that time frame. Actually, when I'm out filming, I rarely use more than 2 batteries in total. I know you can argue that you're getting a lot more features with the newer and more expensive drones in the sub 250 gram segment, but you gotta ask yourself, are you really going to use these features? Having a drone below 250 gram will make such a big difference when we are heading a little bit further into the future and the new EU legislation is put into full force that will take all drones above 250 grams and kick them out of the city 150 meters away from urban environment, as well as not allowing overflying of people at all. Having a sub 250 gram drone will still give you the freedom and flexibility to fly in places where all other drones are not allowed to go. Then you're probably saying, what about all the advanced flight modes and stuff that you're getting with the more expensive drones? But you know what? You can do most of it with the Mini 2 anyway, after they released the SDK support earlier this year. With that, you can use really amazing apps like Maven and Litchi to add follow me and waypoints and all that stuff. Of course, you don't have the safety that the bigger drones provide with the obstacle avoidance and such. But if you use it carefully, you can basically have most of the features for, not for free, but for a relatively low price on top of your Mini 2 purchase. I've done a ton of videos covering all these third-party apps that will show you what features and how well they work with your Mini 2. Then you're probably thinking, why not opt in for the Mini SE if you don't care about sensors anyway? You're probably right, they are basically identical, these two drones. It's only the camera that is the difference as far as I know. But I do want to say, in my opinion, it's worth the extra money to get that 4K resolution when you're recording video. But of course, if you're on a tight budget, that's a pretty good bet as well. If you already have purchased a smart controller, you'll be able to fly your Mini 2 with that one as well. That's an added bonus that will expand the lifetime of your initial smart controller purchase. The conclusion of all this is that the best budget drone, in my opinion, is the DJI Mini 2, regardless of the new Mini 3 entering the scene. At least I will still keep my Mini 2, but of course I want to purchase the Mini 3 with the smart controller and everything to show you what it's all about. So if you found this video useful and you don't want to miss out on future videos, then consider subscribing to the channel. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, then feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to press the dislike button twice. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you around.